since the news get to tell their story their way from their point of view and nothing is said or done, I feel like I should be able to share my story with my point of view and what I think this is all about and pertaining to.
Warning, do not try this. This video is not legal advice and does not create an attorney-client relationship. Please seek legal counsel regarding your particular situation. I'm telling you, do not try quoting these penal codes and end up with the FBI knocking on your door.
I was found not guilty. And when I was found not guilty for that, I immediately started thinking about how I finally got this behind me, not knowing it was the beginning. On the 12th date of December 2018, the defendant in the above numbered and entitled cause appeared in person and entered a plea of not guilty and demanded a jury trial. And the jury, having heard the evidence and the arguments, found the defendant not guilty of the offense of speeding 10% over the limit. It goes on to say, it is therefore ordered that the defendant, being found not guilty, is immediately discharged from all further liability for the offense alleged in the cause, and defendant may go hence without payment of costs. Now y'all see this with your own eyes. I filed my complaint. I also turned in the proper paperwork needed, and I was found not guilty. I need y'all to understand, I'm the same man that they had to call 8 police cars to the scene for. I'm the same man that they did the illegal drug search of my mother vehicle on. I'm the same man that he called the district attorney 3 times trying to get severe charges filed against me, putting my name on a radar. I'm the same man that they locked up 2 days that night. I'm the same man that they illegally locked up for interfering with public duties, and I never signed anything. I had no knowledge of that charge, and I went to jail for 3 more days. I immediately started thinking about how I finally got this behind me, not knowing it was the beginning.
March the 12th, 2019, I was called to Lott, Texas, again, to go to court pertaining to failure to display driver's license. I explained to them I was found not guilty of that offense and that the failure to display driver's license fine or whatever, that was dismissed.
Ray Bledsoe, looks like, come over here so I don't have to shout and tell everyone your business. Looks to me like you have judgment already entered in December. Is that right? Is that correct?
I'm not sure.
Were you here?
I was in regard to that matter.
Okay, so you were here. Judge Wright, you saw Judge Wright? The other judge?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and a judgment was entered. Is that correct?
What judgment was in it? I don't know.
Failure to display driver's license, a judgment for $100 in fine and $99.10 in court costs.
No, ma'am. I didn't enter none of that right there.
What do you mean you didn't enter it? Well, you don't enter judgments, the judge does.
Yeah, he made a mistake on that part.
How did he make a mistake on it?
Okay. My initial, the whole reason they was bothering me from the get-go.
No. How is this a mistake?
I'm trying to explain.
How is this a mistake?
I'm going to explain to you.
No.
I'm going to
You were
explain
in
to you.
court, paperwork was done. Do you want a trial? Is that what you're telling me? That you want evidence to be reviewed?
Yes. Yes,
Because
ma'am.
this is a judgment.
Well, they made a horrible mistake on that. That's not what that is, man.
This is a judgment.
Okay.
He had a trial, Judge.
Oh,
That's
okay.
from a trial.
This is from a trial.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And what
You had
happened,
a trial.
I got found not guilty for speeding.
You're not going to shout at me. Lower your voice.
What makes the Rodney King beating different than any of the other beatings that have occurred before it? The Rodney King beating was recorded. Being that it was recorded, that allowed the rest of us to be able to see. Being that it was recorded, that was proof of the police officer's conduct. Well, since December the 12th, 2018, when I was found not guilty for the speeding stop in the city of Lott, Texas, I thought that encounter was over with. Well, March, I was called back to the city of Lott for court, not knowing what it was pertaining to. That's why I didn't bring any paperwork, but I knew to record it, to have it for my record, to be able to allow the others to see the harassment that I have been dealing with.
when that judge said, "You're not gonna shout at me,"
You're not going to shout at me. Lower your voice.
I immediately began to think about Emmett Till. All he done was whistled. You're accusing me of shouting? Now, I know my voice is pretty loud, but I know my voice was on that same level. But what she was doing was letting me know who was in control. When that judge said,
You're not going to shout at me. Lower your voice.
I kind of got a little afraid. I looked around, I noticed that there was no bailiffs. But I'm glad there was no bailiffs, because that's proof that I'm not dangerous. That's proof that I'm not hazardous. That's proof that I'm still respectful, because I continue to say yes ma'am, even when being talked to in such manner. You know why? Because I'm not the bad person that they try to make me out to be. All I was trying to do was let that judge know that I was found not guilty of that offense. She wouldn't let me talk.
I need an interpreter, someone who understands my language, the way I speak.
Here's the language that I understand. A jury found you guilty in December of 2018, and they assessed a $100 fine.
Well,
Jury found you guilty.
Verdict
form.
No, ma'am. I'm gonna tell you what happened, ma'am. Under Poisonous Tree Act, you familiar with that?
Stop.
Okay.
Did you have a trial on several charges?
Well, if you look at this form on the screen, the 1st of June, 2018, Chief Hamilton of Lott Police Department filed a complaint on Ray Bledsoe for speeding. If you read the form, it says nothing about license plate missing. It says nothing about the fact that they done an illegal drug search around my mother's vehicle and found nothing. That form says nothing about failure to display driver's license. The only complaint that is being shown on this form from the city of Lott, Texas against Ray Bledsoe is speeding, doing a 63 and a 55. By them leaving, interfering with public duties off of the complaint, how was I to prepare paperwork for that? With them leaving, failure to display driver license off of the complaint, how was I to prepare paperwork for that? The only thing that was on that complaint was speeding, which I prepared my paperwork for. I believe they left failure to display driver license off of there so they can find me not guilty for the speeding, but find me failure to display driver license behind closed doors.
Failure to display driver's license, a judgment for $100 in fine and $99.10 in court costs.
Not knowing that it would be recorded for my records only. Well, just as I have Bledsoe 10 Commandments, I also have my special list. And number 1 on my special list is
under Poisonous Tree Act. You familiar with that?
Stop.
Use your phone you got in your hand. Go to Google, type in Poisonous Tree Act, and you can read along if you like. Fruit of the poisonous tree is a doctrine that extends the exclusionary rule to make evidence inadmissible in court if it derived from evidence that was illegally obtained.
Say what?
What is the poisonous tree law? The fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine, also known as the derivative evidence doctrine, is a rule in criminal law that make evidence that was derived from an illegal search, an illegal arrest, and illegal interrogation inadmissible in court. When I filed number 2 off of Bledsoe 10 Commandments the right way, they immediately knew the speeding stop did not apply to me. According to number 1 off of my special list, evidence that was derived from an illegal search, an illegal arrest, and illegal interrogation is inadmissible in court. Meaning, if the proper paperwork is filed, that not guilty verdict is proof that the speeding stop does not apply, making the speed stop an illegal stop. What are primary and secondary offenses? For violations that are categorized as primary offenses, the officer can initiate the traffic stop based solely on that violation. But a secondary offense, on the other hand, does not authorize police to stop vehicles, meaning they must have a good, legit primary offense before you can go on to the secondary offense. Well, being that speeding was the primary offense and I was found not guilty, making the speed stop not good,
The secondary, which is failure to display driver license, falls under the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine, is a rule in criminal law that make evidence that was derived from an illegal search, an illegal arrest, and illegal interrogation inadmissible in court.
Failure to display driver's license.
That is evidence that you gained after stopping me for the fraudulent speeding stop.
And I got found not guilty for speeding.
Okay.
You hear me? So and then they took me to jail, man. I went to jail that night. That's not credit for nothing.
Here it is.
That's it. That's the speeding.
Right.
She's saying right, as if she knows the whole story. And the secretary just had to inform her that I took this speeding case to trial.
This is a judgment.
Okay.
He had a trial, Judge.
Oh,
That's
okay.
from a trial.
This is from a trial.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And what
You had
happened?
a trial.
That's what I was trying to explain to her, but she kept cutting me off.
And I got found not guilty,
You had your
ma'am.
trial.
So
and
the time that I went to the time that I
okay, I'm done.
Thank you.
So I was incarcerated 2 days for something that I was found not guilty for. I also wanted to ask the judge if she was aware that they done an illegal drug search around my mother's vehicle.
Okay, Ray, listen to me, man, okay? Listen to me, okay? Very, very important, okay? I need you guys to exit the vehicle, okay? The K9 is alerted twice.
Sir, we got a box full of food in the car.
I understand that, Ray.
I don't feel safe in
Ray.
my vehicle, sir.
They did an illegal drug search around my mother's vehicle, inside and out, as well as disassembling her motor parts that they did not put back together correctly.
Last time it was right here.
Well, I haven't checked that one. I checked this one.
His son, actually, no. It's not his son, I don't think. I'll show you. He showed it to us.
Disassembling her motor parts that they did not put back together correctly. And then they called a Waco towing service to come and pick up my mother's vehicle.
I gotta get a record. 81 SO. If you'll go ahead and give me a record to Cefco, please. Give me one record to Cefco, please.
When my mother went and retrieved her vehicle the next day in Waco, when she was driving her vehicle home, when she made it to the city of Riso, Texas, the motor locked up. I wanted to ask the judge if she was aware that I was locked up for an additional 3 days for interfering with public duty, which make a total of 5 days incarcerated for something that I was found not guilty for. And here I am in court today, and you asking me for
A judgment for $100 in fine and $99.10 in court costs.
for something that I was found not guilty for. But I'm glad that I was able to record it so you all can see that I was allowed to leave court.
You
Ma'am.
had your trial.
So
and
the time that I went to the time that I
Okay, I'm done.
Thank you.